All right, welcome back to the NBA NCAA Fantasy Faves League Week 3 Part 2 video. We're going to get into the rankings right now and also let you know who's coming up for this weekend's slate of action. Week 4 is now upon us, and before I jump into Week 4, the rankings are as such. You have in the NBA, you have the Warriors at 3-0. You have the Bulls at 2-1, and then you have the Spurs, Knicks, Lakers, and Cavs all at 1-2. Over there in the NCAA, you have Louisville at 2-1, Kansas at 2-1, UCLA and Florida State at 2-1, and then you have Kentucky at 1-2 and Notre Dame at 0-3. So wow, the only undefeated team is the Warriors. Congratulations, Golden State. And congratulations to Steph Curry, who gets in by a tiebreaker from the fan vote. I guess the media and the players had voted for Russell Westbrook to be the starter, him and James Harden. And the fans, they got 50% of the vote. So, and then when it was tied, they would go for the fan vote for the NBA All-Stars. So good job, Steph. You're not coming off the bench. Poor little Russell Westbrook with all his triple doubles is coming off the bench. So I don't think that sat too well with him. But hey, you should just be happy. Everybody should just be happy that they're in the All-Star game, whether you come off the bench or not. It's going to be in New Orleans Sunday the 19th, February 19th. So 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. So congrats to everybody who was in. I went ahead and posted the images and the names of the players on Instagram at d.bitty, B-I-T-T-Y. So you can check out who the players are, see if your favorite player made it. Unfortunately, none of the Lakers made it this year, and I don't think they're going to make it next year either. They might. I don't know. You never know. Julius Randle's pretty good. All right, so jumping into Week 4, you have... the matchups are as follows. You have the Bulls taking on the Warriors, Cavaliers taking on the Spurs, which is my game of the week. In fact, Week 4, you're going to have 2 games of the week. You're going to have one in the NBA, and you're going to have one in the NCAA. And when I say game of the week, what I'm talking about is that these two teams play each other head-to-head. So normally, this is like a fantasy league where, say for instance, the first game I mentioned, you have the Bulls versus the Warriors. The Bulls are actually playing the Hawks of Atlanta in real life, and the Warriors are playing the Houston Rockets. So in the fantasy aspect of things, it's pretty much if whoever wins, but if both teams win, then it goes to the team that has the greatest point margin of victory. Which I discussed on the last video. So if you have any questions, just refer to that previous video, Week 1 Part 1, or Week 3 Part 1. So Cavaliers are playing the Spurs straight up. So whoever wins that game is the winner. There's no need for fantasy results or tiebreakers. It's just boom, you win your game and you move forward with a victory. Then you have also the Knicks going up against the Lakers. So the Knicks play the Suns, Lakers play the Pacers. In the NCAA, you're going to have Louisville playing Florida State in the game of the week. So once again, that's just a head-to-head matchup. Winner take all, pretty much. Louisville is traveling to Florida State. That game's on at 11 a.m. In a couple hours. I'm doing this like right now at 4 a.m. Pacific time. So 7 hours from now at 11 a.m. Pacific. That game should be on ESPN, so if you're up and you don't want to watch all the inauguration type stuff, just turn it to ESPN for a great basketball game. You have Kentucky going up against UCLA and Notre Dame. Oh, I'm sorry. UCLA going up against Kansas and Kentucky going up against Notre Dame. So those are the 6 games going on in my fantasy league. I'm picking the Florida State Seminoles, the Kansas Jayhawks, the Kentucky Wildcats, Golden State Warriors, San Antonio Spurs, and the New York Knicks. So go ahead and get your picks in. Either put them in the comments or just send your picks to my last post on Instagram. and I'll take a look at it and see if you can beat Biddy. Hashtag beat Biddy. I was 6-0 with my picks, just to rub that in again, last week. So I did pretty good. So we'll see what I do this cycle of games here. These games I think are taking place over today and tomorrow. I don't think they extend into Sunday, but next week schedule we have no games of the week. None of my teams play head to head. So this week we have 2. So once again, the games of the week are the Cavs versus Spurs. That game's actually tonight at 5:30 on ABC. So make sure to catch that game. That should be a really good game. I'm not sure if it's in San Antonio or in Cleveland, but go ahead and stay tuned for that. And you got the college game on earlier in the day. So enjoy the inauguration for those of you who voted for Trump and or who care about politics and that sort of thing. I'm sure I'll check out a little bit of it, but right now, time to get my little dog here to bed. He's been a trooper, staying with me right here on my lap. So, all right, you guys, I will get with you probably Sunday night. Have a good night, good day, good night, whatever.